Hi everyone, it's Andy Tech from Check New Tech, and today I'm going to show you a smart, cheap, and easy way to add Roku functionality to your smart or non-smart TV. If you're like me, you might have owned a Roku TV in the past or used a Roku or maybe seen one at your friend's place and really enjoyed it. There's so many great things to like about Roku. It's really fast, it's easy to use. I kind of equate it to an iPhone because everything is really straightforward. It's very simple and there's really no training required to use a Roku. Also, the channels install almost instantaneously compared to other streaming devices or even smart TVs. And if you've upgraded to a new TV that doesn't have Roku features, or you might have purchased a TV that didn't have it to begin with, you might want to add it into your own TV. And today I'm going to show you a really easy way to do that by purchasing the Roku Express. I decided to get one of these because I have a TV, I have a Vizio smart TV, and I can't stand the smart functionality in that TV. It's actually one of the worst smart TVs I've owned. Everything is so slow, it's so laggy, and it takes forever. And a ton of different streaming apps that I typically use are not there, so I have to cast them. But enough said about that. I want to talk about the Roku Express. This retails at $30. However, it's currently on sale for about $25 in most vendors. You go to like Best Buy or Target or even Amazon, and it gives you the option of adding tons and tons, thousands of streaming channels to your smart TV. What's cool about this one is it comes with a remote, so you don't have to worry about casting like you do with the Chromecast. And it also includes an HDMI cable for free, which is really neat because most of these boxes don't even include that, and it costs quite a bit. If you want to get a good quality HDMI cable, it could run you $10 to $15 more on top of the cost of the actual streaming device. So to have it all inclusive for $25 is not a bad deal. But what I'm curious about is this going to perform just as good as the Roku smart TV that I owned? I actually owned a TCL in the past. You might have seen my unboxing video there. So I'm curious if it has the same type of performance as that. I know Roku uses a different native operating system, which actually allows you to install apps almost immediately, and the streaming services are just perfect. Like, they're compatible with Roku, so it's really nice. You're not like jailbreaking or sideloading anything. These are all things that are native to the Roku option. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this and get started. So one thing I do want to mention about this while I'm unboxing is the Roku Express gives you 1080p. So this is not 4K quality if you were looking to watch a lot of 4K content. But we're going to get into, the resolution and everything else later with the tech specs. But here is the remote. And here's the Roku Express. Here's the adapter. And I am still looking for that HDMI cord, which is supposed to be included, so that must be right here. All right, there's your HDMI cord. That is what fell. And then here is the adapter. And then you have a quick start guide here to get started. Even comes with the AAA batteries for the remote. Keep in mind, this is not a remote that will control your TV, so it will not control your volume and your power, but you are not paying nearly as much as some of the other Roku devices, so for half the price, it's probably a small sacrifice that you're making, and most of you probably will have your factory remote for your TV, or if you are using some other service, you may have a universal remote. It does come with a little sticky, guide for putting the Express. This is a really small device, so this is the whole Express. I mean, kind of like the Fire Stick, it's really tiny. I actually thought that this would be a bit larger just looking at the picture on the box. All it has here is the reset button, the HDMI port, and the power port. And then here is the IR port up here, so you could use it with the remote. There's a couple things on the remote itself that are kind of cool. So you actually have some shortcut buttons for Netflix, Sling, Hulu, and Disney Plus. We're going to see how well this whole thing performs. So this concludes the unboxing portion. I'm not going to go through the quick start guide, and we're going to go ahead and get this set up. So I want to show you guys how easy the setup is with this. All you have to do is take the battery cover off, put the AAA batteries in here. You just have to take this adapter, plug it into the USB port here, and then you're going to plug this into the back of your Roku. and that's your power for your Roku Express. And then you're going to take this HDMI cable, plug one end here, and then you're going to go ahead and plug that other end into the TV. So you pretty much got all your setup done in less than 20 seconds. So here I plugged it into the HDMI port. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the power port. Now I'm going to wait for the Roku to power up. I did plug it into the HDMI port, so let's go ahead and find it. There we go. You've got your Let's Get Started. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up. It's just doing a few updates here. That's happening fairly quickly. Okay, once you're done with your activation, which doesn't take long, you just connect to your Wi-Fi and then you set up a Roku account if you don't have one. You get this little intro video playing here for a minute or two, and then you're ready to go ahead and explore Roku. So after the initial setup, you'll get to this familiar look and feel. If you've had a Roku device before, this is nothing new, but if you haven't, here's all your channels. This is why I say it's very easy to navigate, kind of like Apple. Everything is in one place and it's easy to find. And this is the great part about Roku. They make it simple, and you've got categories here: free content, your feed, your movie store, TV store. You could buy things, you could rent things. You've got your streaming channels, and then you could change your settings. The one thing I don't see here is the Miracast option where you could cast to your device. I don't feel like this is very necessary if you're just looking for the Roku functionality, because most smart TVs have the ability to cast or stream in some way. It'd be nice to have, but for the price of the device, you can't expect too much. They are coming up with the 4K version, so maybe we'll see that in there. But I like that you could just select a channel, it gets right to it, it loads very quickly. That's the beauty of Roku. There's no lag in it. You could go ahead and load a video here, and you can see how fast it actually plays right away. That's the beauty of having Roku. And the Express didn't actually disappoint because there's no performance degradation. I feel like they did a good job with keeping everything on par with the Roku quality that you've come to expect and love. Here we could go to the Roku channel. That's actually one of the cooler parts of Roku, is they have their own channel. Now if you haven't loaded it, it'll actually load. The one cool thing about Roku, if you don't know this, is you could actually put as many channels as you want on there, and if you haven't used it for a long time, it'll actually put it in something like a cloud, and then it'll bring it back in, so you don't really run out of space. So you could actually watch anything you want with Roku. So here's Beyond Belief, a 90s show that some of you may not be familiar with, but it's picking up right where I left off here. So yeah, you can watch it instantly. Everything streams very quickly. So what's the final verdict on the Roku Express? Is it a great device for the value? Absolutely. Were there some trade-offs that you have to make? Definitely. So where does it lie in the spectrum of the Andy Tech score? Well, let's discuss some of the positives. This is a very tiny device. It's compact. It comes with the HDMI cable for $25 on sale, or even $30 at retail. That's still a good value. The remote is easy to use. It's nice. It's the classic Roku remote, but it doesn't control your volume of your TV and your power, so you have to juggle two remotes around. It doesn't have the Miracast or the casting for your Android phone or your iPhone, so you are sacrificing some of those features. You may have to use them on your smart TV. So is it worth it? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. If you're just looking to add the Roku interface, I wouldn't pass this up. They are coming out with the 4K version. I believe in about a month or so that's going to be released. So if you're looking to play 4K content exclusively, you could skip this one, because this is only a 1080, so you're not going to get the resolution that you desire if that's what you're watching. But overall, I like having this. It's a great accessory. It's an additional accessory to my smart TV. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a Andy Tech score of 8.1. So hopefully if you're considering these factors, you may want to buy this. If not, then definitely let me know what you got. I'd be interested in hearing. If you enjoy watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button below. This is Andy Tech signing off.
new tech